So when it came time to list your home, why did you give me a call?
First off, your reputation in the area, the Fetick Team, everybody knows about it. Your name's everywhere, your sign's everywhere. We've known you for years. We knew the quality of work that you've done, and we know you as a person. We trust your character, and we just felt like this was in this moment, this was really the last thing that we're going to sell here. This is probably the biggest thing we're going to sell here last, and it was a no-brainer for us. We said we got to call Dave.
Thank you.
And everybody knows 10 different real estate agents.
Yeah.
In friend groups and work and all of that. But it was really simple for us to make that decision.
Did you consider posting in a Facebook community page? It was a good realtor recommendation?
Yeah, and then follow that, right?
100 recommendations of people that say I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
We all know you did a lot of work prior to getting the house on the market, and we met and talked about some of the things that you should do and how to go about it. What were some of the challenges that you think you faced that we helped sort of resolve together?
Well, I had my own little punch list. I feel like I'm a perfectionist, and the reason of it is I love doing this. Not everybody likes doing this. Mm-hmm. I love doing it, and I need things to be perfect because I would want a perfect home. When I look at a house that's supposed to be done, I'm going to pay the price to have it done. I need everything done.
And I think your perfection is a key part of the equation. So I want to note that now because I think that's part of the equation.
And you had even said when you looked at the house, and I go, I still got to get this done. I'm going to get this done. And you're like, well, those things, don't worry about it. It doesn't really matter because if someone likes your house, they're going to buy your house anyways. They're not going to buy it because you did those little things. But I think those things mattered. I didn't listen to you. And I did them. I did everything. And because I knew that they mattered. And when you're ready to list your house, if you don't want to do these things, hire someone to do them, because I feel like every little bit does matter. When you come in and the house is appealing to the eye and it's nice to look at, and it's got an ambiance and it's got a good energy to it.
For sure.
It's a lot more likely to sell at a better price. So, when you do these things, you kind of make money from it.
And
that's how I look at it.
And you did, or you will, I suppose. We should talk in the future tense.
It's good.
So was there anything specific about the listing strategy or anything specific about how we went about listing your house that stood out as different or not what you expected?
Well, for one thing, we both have quite a busy life, you know. We're both working, we have other things, other business interests, so there's always something. There's always some new fire to put out. And when we turned it over to you, you came through with a timeline. We got a detailed email that said, these are the steps it's going to follow. These are the people that are going to contact you. This is how everything's going to happen. And we kind of find ourselves going, oh my God, what do we have to do next? All right, look at the email. Oh, it just kind of helped. It gave us some order in the process that was a relief, because we would normally have to do that in all these other little projects we do in our work life. So from there, it was like, okay, all right, we don't have to worry about saying we got this, because we knew you had it. Mm-hmm. So we were like, okay, let's just go through that and know what our next steps are. We got a question, run it by Dave. He'll let us know where to go. So that, and the presentation, what you had everything set up was, about probably as good as we could have expected it to be. Mm-hmm. And it just speaks to the fact that in a weekend, we barely had any stress through the whole situation, and we were I wasn't here for the stress. She was here for the stress. I was skiing, as we know.
But it worked out.
It worked out. It was well worth the hard work.
Yeah.
And that's what, when you start getting ready for these things, it's so overwhelmingly stressful.
Right.
Because all the uncluttering, you need to have room to put everything. You need to know what the buyer wants to see, and sometimes you tend to just sweep stuff under the rug, and you're like, no, I got to go back and I got to do this. That can be very overwhelming, but the more you do, the more money you're going to make. That's how I look at it.
Sure.
Who doesn't like to make money?
Well, and also, we love the house. We want it to show well.
Yeah. And we
really do love the house. And when you live in it, sometimes it doesn't look its best, but after we cleaned it up and did everything for the showings, my wife's like, we should keep it like this. to me felt nearly impossible, but okay,
Clean closet.
Was there anything about the process that stood out to you as far as making it more memorable, or?
As you know, we challenged you on the listing price.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that was, you wanted to go, we actually wanted to go higher than what it was listed at.
Yeah.
And you were right. Like, the reason why, and we listened to you because you know what you're doing.
We weren't going to.
Right.
We were like,
Yeah.
I think
no,
a
we're
lot
not
of
doing
people
it.
feel
And
that way.
we
Are you
have-
gonna say-
Are you going to tell Dave or am I going to tell
And
Dave?
we
We're not
had the
doing it that.
discussion,
Yeah.
listen, when we have patients, we're both chiropractors, and when we have patients that challenged us,
Yeah.
we're like, we don't like it when they challenge us. We're the experts. He's the expert.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking
Let's
about.
go with it.
So that's why we went with it, because we're like, we don't like to be challenged in our own profession. Why are
Sure.
we doing this?
Sure.
So
And plus,
that's what
we trusted your
we
expertise,
trusted you,
your
and you were
history,
right.
knowing the
You were
market.
right. It
Yeah.
created a lot of more attention, and we look at the offers we got. You wanted to list the house even a little bit less than what we listed it for.
Sure. Yeah.
And we were like, well, we were thinking, this number, which was higher than what we listed it at. And the reason you told us was because you wanted to stay in a certain market. You didn't want to blow that number up and move into a different market just to get more attention
Yeah.
to the home, really.
Yeah.
And so we brought in buyers that if we had gone any higher, probably wouldn't even have looked at the place. And that was
Right.
your approach.
Right.
And that's why we decided
Just
to
get them in the door. If you don't
Get
get them in the door, then they're not gonna. If they don't come in the door, they're not gonna make an offer.
And that was a
So-
great point. And you have more experience with where that price point is
Yeah.
when you're looking. That's not our area of expertise.
And I think that the big thing for me was that, right before you listed, I bumped it up $5,000. And I said, no, we need to start with a 5 because that shows confidence that you're going to be
Yeah.
in that realm, which I think that is, again, what I do. I don't make a decision and then move on. Like, I'm always reevaluating what's
Right.
going on. So I think, at the bottom line is, yes, you got in enough people, and
Yep.
it was evidence that at least 2 buyers thought it was worth significantly more than we
Right.
listed, which at
and
the
your
end of the
open house
day-
was successful.
Right, the open house was great, but at the end of the day, the
Yep.
buyers expressed what they thought it was worth, and
Right.
that is who has to determine the price.
Right.
So we put everything out there and said, what do you think it's worth?
Yeah.
And created that scenario where they said to themselves, we need to go as high as we possibly can in order to get this. And
Right.
that's who won.
I know.
There were 3 or 4 offers
Three
that
offers.
were way above, or 3 offers
Way
that were
above.
way
Total.
above
Right.
the list. Dramatically above the list.
Yeah.
Dramatically above what we even thought we were going to get
Right.
for the property.
No, we had 3 offers, and I think it went well above the range I even thought it was going to end in. But I think that's another thing that I feel as though is important in this process is that, right now in a seller's market, the seller has control of a lot of things, and the seller wins in a lot of scenarios. So on the flip side, buyers are really struggling, and buyers really don't have a lot of control over anything. So if you give the buyer that one opportunity to have control over a situation, like the price, then they're going to be committed to that price. They're going to feel good about that price.
Right.
And you're not asking them to pay that price. They're determining that is the price they want to pay.
They're in
which
control
is a big,
of that.
Which is a big mental
difference,
shift.
yeah.
And it's a shift for a lot of people because for the longest time, you had to price your house to negotiate down. And you just don't do that anymore. I mean, you don't want to go down. You don't want to
Right.
list it at a price where you have to come down. That's the kiss of death in the current market. So it's a complete
Right.
opposite when it's a buyer's market.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and my initial our gut was like, when you came up with that list price,
Yeah.
we're like, it's worth way more than that. So, and like everyone thinks what they have is worth way more than
Yeah. Yeah.
a bystander. So that caught us up a minute until we understood that you had a vision
Yeah.
for the market and what that was
Yeah.
going to do, and how that was priced to incite the market to act accordingly.
Did you think prior to listing that you would get the price you got?
No.
No.
Are you happy with that price?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. Matt's asked me, he goes, are they happy? I'm like, I guess so. I think so,
yeah.
yes. And John gave me a fist pump. I mean, like, I don't know.
We didn't expect to get
Look,
that.
we're very happy. We just have so many things that happen.
I don't believe me. It was funny when he asked. I'm like, I'm sure they are. I mean, why would they not be? I mean,
Right.
they didn't tell me they weren't. So my assumption is that they are.
Yeah. It was so easy.
Well,
Okay.
Listen, while you were skiing,
Oh.
they show up and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm
bugs.
cleaning out. I'm like, there were piles everywhere, right,
Yeah.
of where things went. And you're so funny. You're so calm.
Well, that's
Even
good.
with the open house day, like
Yeah.
you saw, I was
You were.
going crazy, a
With the
little
bugs.
nuts. Yeah.
Yes.
With our little
Elder
elder
bugs.
bugs.
Yeah.
And you were like, it's okay. Do you have peppermint?
Do you know
And I'm
only
like,
one person said anything about them?
Really?
Only one person of
I
the people
think
that
I
came
took care
through.
of the issue.
There are a lot of my clients that say the process was easy. What kind of value do you think that is? Like, how do you assign a value to the ease of the process or how simple it was?
Well, I'll tell you that there's a lot of value in it being easy and the process feeling easy, and that it's handled. You're comfortable, you're confident that you're looked after, because we've had transactions where we weren't really sure how it was going to go.
Yeah.
So
If
I
you
don't
could
know how
just-
to put a number on that,
was
but
gonna
I
say,
would
could
say
you-
it's towards the top of the list.
A percentage? Could you assign a percentage to that value?
Getting your best sale price would be the top percentage.
Yeah, but the ease.
But
part.
the ease of the
Like,
whole
yeah,
process.
what percentage of the whole picture is
Oh, okay.
Because
ease
look,
of
we've
process?
been
So, like,
through this process,
Obviously,
right?
everybody
Just
wants the best price.
3 years ago,
Yeah.
we went
Yeah.
through this exact process.
Yes.
And they were great too.
A lot of agents
And
are
maybe
great.
it's because we've gone through it before, but this was so easy. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, 100% easier. Now, we were downsizing from a huge house.
And you
to
did it 3
this,
years ago,
and,
so
and it
we
was a
edited
little
it down.
harder.
To me, when I meet with a client for the first time, I ask about their goals, and obviously price is always important. Nobody's going to
Yes.
say the price is important. But
Yes.
the second highest thing that I get from most people is I just want it to be easy. Like, I don't want to have to worry about it. I want to be able to go through
was
and just
easy.
get it done. So, I guess it maybe ranks second after price.
Absolutely, a close second.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And when you get the price we got, looking back on it, like, we're ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
But we also look back and we're like, wait a minute, everything was done well. Like, everything was done well, soup to nuts.
Yeah.
And it's like, so then you get to like, yeah, that's good. That's what's supposed to happen.
And I think that's another key part of it.
Right. When the whole
Yeah.
process is really handled well and all the details are done.
You don't want to rush through it. You want to make sure everything is in line and all the boxes are checked. Otherwise, you don't get that result. So I know we're not at the end of the process just yet. But if you came across anybody else who was looking to do the same thing, what would you say?
I mean, it's fun working with you. So.
Okay. All right.
Of course, I'm
Well,
going to tell them to call you.
I'll take that. And I've got plenty of videos out there that show them fun.
I love working with you. So
What I would say is, take all of your advice to heart
Okay.
and understand that everything that you're advising them to do is about improving the value of the home for the best outcome for them.
Okay.
Whether that's, if it's uncomfortable to think about decluttering, or it's uncomfortable to think about making some simple changes to your decor, or whatever that is, do whatever it takes, or whatever you advise them to do, to put your house in the best position to sell.
I'm going to ask a potentially loaded question here, but at any point so far, did you feel as though I was more concerned about me than you?
No, I did initially though. When you were firm on your listing price,
Yeah.
I thought, are we going to get into a bit of a legal battle here?
I
right?
thought the same thing when I had
and
no
I
idea.
said,
It's a-
and then at first it was like, well, but no, wait a minute, settle down, trust Dave, he knows the market.
So I need to soften my approach on my number?
No, you did what you were doing. We're different type of sellers, though.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But that was no. Other than that, I wouldn't disagree with anything that you said or did.